So today I'm back with a follow-up video with the color process on one of my recently personal artworks. This is again gonna be a casual talk where I mumble about the things that I think during the process and whatnot. So I hope you are gonna bear with me. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see, I'm pretty much relying heavily on my line art. This is mainly because I feel it has a certain beauty to it, and most of the times, um, not always, but most of the times, I try to incorporate and preserve it into my final concept. This technique has ups and downs. One of the downs being that it might look at unfinished, simply said, and it might show um, a lack of devotement, sort of speak. Although this is not necessarily what I'm trying to imply. I feel perfectly comfortable pushing my pieces to the final art. It's just that most of the times I feel like preserving the line art has a huge advantage. So that's why sometimes I keep the line art, sometimes I don't, and push the pieces to the fully rendered stage. In this way you can pretty much compromise and have both options available, and clients can see that you're able to fully render pieces as well as keeping them stylized. And yeah, so yeah, on this particular one I started by adding some flat shapes to separate the objects. I added flat shapes from the foreground elements, the top branch plus the vegetation on top and bottom as well. Then I added another giant shape to the building, and another one to the giant tree, and one for the trees in the background, um, and of course one giant shape to the sky. And I'm trying to be pretty loose when I do those shapes and later correct them. It's simply because it from my experience it saves some times to think big and then start adding details and see where you need to correct some of the shapes and fill them up. So once I take care of that, I'm moving forward and adding some base colors, see if everything works right together. um, then I pretty much add a couple of varieties to that color. So right now you can see that with the floor, uh, with the grass and bushes on the ground. So I'm trying to keep a couple of a few variations of greens um, with different intensities. Right now I'm moving to the tree, applying the same mentality, coming up with different color variations. And that's mainly because, and when you come up to color variations, you try to stick more or less close to to your main colors, so you don't go too far and make and alienate the colors, so to speak. So I'm doing the same with building. With building, for my it's safe to say that you can play a little bit more, since usually a building has more than one element. So you have perhaps the roof made out of one sort of material and a couple of different materials when it comes to walls and doors and decorations. So that's pretty much the main mentality. And when it comes to buildings, I try to limit myself, again, not always, but most of the times, to kind of a three colors, materials. So you can see red, yellow, and another color which I don't know what name it is. It's a kind of a desaturated red. So yeah, and then I pretty much add a layer of shadow, which is pretty much set on multiply and has the color of the sky. And I put some extra details, and that's pretty much it. And you keep doing that, and pushing and pulling, and always checking your artwork from distance and see if it looks cool, flip it, um, and all those things. So thank you guys for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will subscribe and support me. Make sure to if you enjoy my artworks, make sure to check me on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.